G'day, mate. Welcome back to Factorio with me, Jetty. So, it's episode 102, which means we've got a weekly recap episode, which means we need to cover some of the things that's happened this week. I think we should start with actually dropping a clip from, what is it, episode 100? Yeah, episode 100, where we cleaned up nuclear power. Now we're definitely out of parts. Boop, boop. Yeah, okay, we might lose all our reactors in the process, but, you know, there are certain light shows that are worth it. And how else were you planning on getting rid of nuclear power? Like, it's done. It's gone. So, with that, the intro out of the way, where do we start? Well, look, let's start with where we started at the start of the week. We started with solar power. Long story short, we've been working on solar power forever now. I did many episodes ago extend our solar grid out by a significant amount, and then at the same time we've been slowly upgrading our solar panels from the Factory Extended, the Mark 1 to the Mark 2 to the Mark 3. Now we're on mostly Mark 4s at this stage. There are a few Mark 3s still hanging around. Plus there's these two whole grids to go. And the reason we managed to increase our solar production laying by so much is I just got lazy and just started dumping down whole builds. We vastly increased the speed we're making Mark II and the Mark III solar and accumulators. At the same time, if I can run through the base at all, we also vastly increased the speed at which we were producing solar panels in the first place. I ran straight past it. So, we changed over the accumulators from a normal recipe to a stacked recipe. We also increased it by 50%, and we'd also already increased solar panel production and basically increased it by another 50% as well. One of the things I haven't done yet is I haven't swapped this recipe over to compressed or stacked solar panels yet. I do want to, just haven't got there yet. It does mean just changing a couple of belts down here and then clearing the lines and changing the recipes. It is a quick job to do, just haven't got to it yet. The other thing that we did during the week is we upgraded our silos because this was the week of the smarts. The idea was this week we were going to do something a little bit smart every week. Everybody likes to see me suffer through combinators, and that's really what the week was about. So we actually changed over all the silos. There's water in the way. All the silos over to a smart system. So now not only does it launch, well, it launches all the parts correctly, it also resyncs, and that was the really important thing that I wanted to have. If I how do I break this system? I remove that. Actually, that'll do wonders. And then if I remove your friend, let's say this one, and we turn it off, which is on, it's still backward, but that's fine. All the rocket solos will launch, which is still impressive because the whole, that's a useless power pole. The whole base basically lights up with rockets from the far left all the way, not quite to the far right, but, you know, close enough. And no, that one won't go out of sync, but the one after should go out of sync. And because it goes out of sync, it should stop launching. That's the theory, at least. It has been somewhat tested, somewhat not tested. At the same time, I did sort of allude to it. We cleared out all the nuclear reactors. We no longer are on nuclear power. We have random inserters. Random turbine. We have completely swapped over to solar power, which should be fine. In fact, I think I actually have enough overproduction. I can start clearing out. I can actually start minimizing the amount of solar. There we go. I can start minimizing the amount of solar I actually have. Okay, so boom. So we've launched 8 out of 10 hull components because I removed 2 stacky loady thingies, which means, in theory, no, actually, because it's a hull component, we'll probably find that the last 2 in the row will launch to make up for it. Yep. So it's a super, super smart system. If on one of those rare items that I actually have multiple rockets set up for, the end ones, being the ones with the lowest launch count, I guess, can make up for them. So, yeah, it's a super duper 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 smart system, which I'm sort of proud of. Let's put that back in there. And... oh. Are you the other one? No, where's the other one? Hang on, if I go Control Z, Control Z, Control Z. Oh, crap. I removed other things. Okay, there was one. I don't know where the other one is. Good job, JD. We're off to a great start. That one. Okay. So with that re-repaired, and what was it that I deconstructed in here that shouldn't have gone back? You lot. Okay, so that were two of the main projects this episode, this week. Along with, we had our patent pending safe crossings, because there were many comments about the mini-me's accidentally losing their lives and sacrificing themselves to the cause. We have managed to kill off just over 4,000 of the mini-me's so far. Is that kills or losses? That's losses. Where's kills? 4,000. 100 have been lost to biters and stuff, but we have managed to run over 4,000 ourselves, mainly due to trains like this one that are hurtling around the base super, super fast with 1,254 kills. Yep. So we implemented our patent pending safe crossing. The idea is the gates will close as trains come up and down this line. And the gate's going to close in one of two different ways. They're either going to close the inside tracks to stop any MEs that are currently mining in the middle running in front of another train, and they'll also close the outside tracks to stop more mini-MEs coming in. There is a catch to this system, but idiots like this one that are standing in the tracks mining don't get saved, because we're not trying to... we're prioritizing the trains over the mini-me's. It's not a flaw in the system. It's a very important, fundamentally, critically important part of the system, that mini-me's are just way more valuable. Well, trains are way more valuable than mini-me's. Yeah, I had that around the right way. Yeah. So, but yeah, it does work, providing they're not actively on the track mining. We did put in two safe crossings, one here and one over. Really? Actually, no. Okay. And this one here is much more effective. There's a lot less mini-me's mining on the tracks. And if they're on the tracks when the gate raises, it's fine. They hug the wall, they think thin thoughts, and the train goes screaming past, and they generally live. Generally. Not guaranteed, but generally they live. Yeah, this has been a fairly good system so far. It's working well. As for this one here, well, it's just waiting for us to remove the 25, 29, 35, 29,000 ore under each train track tile, with mining drone productivity 200. So it might take them a while, but in theory, they'll get it done. The other thing we added this week is we added one more smart system. Well, two more smart systems. One we'll cover at the end of the video. The other smart system we added was we have our little delivery train. Our little delivery train has been delivering, robots and logibots and radars and lasers and roboports and substations, along with the mining drones themselves, repair packs and concrete. All the basics you would need to go and set up a outpost like this, resupply it with mini-me's should, mini-me's accidentally befall a train track incident or something like that. At the same time, repair packs to repair any lasers, robots to repopulate the network. Should they be out actively repairing a laser and happen to meet spit or something like that? Lots of things are sacrificing themselves to make sure we have a fully functioning base. So we added to this system request chests, inserters to move compressed artillery shells, a pallet load of artillery shells from the request chest through the inserter into the unstacking belt boxer and into an artillery turret, and then we put down some friends here at the outside that we're going to make sure that the neighbors got pushed right the way back. And as you can see, these have now been put on every single outpost. And we did this entirely with smarts. We set the requests on the train, and then we set our little combinators for what we want delivered and what we want to keep in stock. We set them remotely back at the base, and then we just copied and pasted them everywhere, which means this train now has visited every single outpost, dumped down the artillery, dumped down extra roboports for extra robot range if required, and the artillery has put short work to the biters and pushed them right the way back. In saying that, if we turn on our pollution overlay, it's still bad. Biters are still wandering into the base far too regularly. I'd really like it if they moved away further. As we just saw, they were chewing on some train track for reasons that nobody will ever understand. But yeah, okay. And then the last projects we set up for this week was, we'll just jump in our train real quick, and we'll go to the place of our new project, because being the no, I turned you guys back on. Being the end of the week, well, being a new week, we had a new big project, and this was the new big project. We've been a little bit short on fast and light drives for quite some time. If you remember all the way back in episode very, very early, we set up this lovely light display that had 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 in stock, or 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 in stock. And we were using this to sort of work out how many fast and light drives we had hanging around. And this has been piled fairly high. I did even consider putting in a second row so we could count up to 100 possibly in stock. But we've been launching roughly a rocket every minute or so. In fact, between the start of this episode and the start of last week's episode, we've done 200 rockets. Yes, 200 rockets. And no, hang on. 240 rockets and counting. In fact, we're already last week's, the end of episode 69.5, we had 1081, and we're up to 1300. So that's over 220 already for the week. Yes, and this is going to keep coming up as I get more and more fast light drives brought into stock. But yeah, as you can see, that lovely sound going off in the background, that was our second, or third, fourth, fifth, whatever number of smart items added to the week. This little PC speaker, or this programmable speaker here, sets off an alarm if this signal happens to be red to remind us that we've left the train here, because this train doesn't automatically move on to the next station, because that requires you to have some sort of station rather than a temporary station where we've lined up all our unloading at. I intentionally did it off a temporary station because there's no room to park this train without bringing in a whole separate train track, tucking it all the way under, all the way back up, blah 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 blah. Yeah. We just parked at a temporary station because normally I just unload this by hand, but I realized with the amount of trips we're going to do here, it's going to need a little bit of automated help to get the train unloaded. So the idea of this particular outpost is to run one of these machines making fast and light drives, which, if you remember from earlier or every episode up until now, these little things are super, super, super cheap. And I want to make about 2 of these per minute. Yeah, which a lot of speed modules, efficiency modules, and productivity modules are making vanish into thin air. So we need a little bit of a bigger build. Actually, I've just noticed I have those on me. So yeah, a little bit of a bigger build, which means I had to plan things out. So that's what we've been doing this week. Unfortunately, we didn't get enough time to get the build up and running. But as you can see, this is a speed module build. This puts out a compressed speed module or a stacked speed module. It's like, as always, a pallet at a time. It does per minute, because that's what we care about. It does 6.9, so we'll call that 7 per minute, and then uncompresses by a rate of 25. Come on. 7 times 25 equals, and then the idea is to have 4 of these builds running back to back, which is 7, which is still nowhere near 1 per minute, 2 per minute. It basically means I might need to have 2 outposts like this, which is pretty scary just by the sheer amount of materials I'm already eating. The iron, copper, all that sort of stuff's not so bad because we've gone and added mining productivity. But plastic off oil has become a real problem. We have our brand new updated oil build, which is running on basic oil because that just eliminates so many pipes. And I'm going pump jack, which is, as you can see, speed module through the wazoo at 1200% speed, doing, what's that, 272 oil per second into a refinery, which is going to use 100 crude oil multiplied by 19.4. So what's that? 1940%. So it's 1900 is 19,000 oil per second. Yeah, I don't think this is going to run fast enough. And then it's outputting to a pipe, which is bouncing over to this pipe, which is running 2 chemical plants. Everything has speed module 6s, productivity module 4s, and then we're outputting those. And these guys are, of course, doing a stacked recipe. So they're doing a lot of petroleum in for 18 stacked plastic per second, which is, I don't know, what's 18 multiplied by 25? 450 plastic per second out of just these 2 machines. We have built this to ratio as best as possible. In theory, actually, I can't get enough. I can't get the refinery to run fast enough. And in theory, according to Max Rate Calculator, we're going to have enough oil, which would be really, really nice for a change. But yes, this has been one of our big limiting factors, exactly how much oil we can get out of a single spot, because this is far from efficient, being that I can only access like half the oil nodes. If we look at map view, I've built over more than I've actually used. And yeah, this has been the plan, to get plastic, to get red circuits. We've got another plastic to red circuits over here, which is followed up by a third plastic to red circuits. This red circuits feeds this blue circuits, this red circuits down here, and this red circuits down here. Feed half of these each. These green circuits are dedicated just into this red. These greens are into this red. We still need to make a dedicated green build for our blue chips, which is 12 sets of greens, so twice this amount. That still seems low. It is actually 24. So it's 4 times this amount, it turns out, worth of green circuits. So like green circuits from here to about here to run into this build, with another 12 green circuits to run our physical module builds themselves, to then dump the whole lot into our one little machine to make fast and light drives. But yes, that's the plan for this week, to actually get that build off and finished. At the same time, I will leave that because I might need it. But yes, this was our next part of smarts added for the week. The idea is it's going to be really, really annoying, and then you'll definitely remember to move the train on. I did also have one up in the main depot, but that took me about 15 seconds before I was jack of it, because it was map wide, and I promptly deconstructed it from the other side of the map because I just could not deal with it. Lastly, what was the other thing I wanted to cover? Lastly, as always, our logistics. We want to go to that cell module. Actually, no, we have speed module 3s according to that. We have productivity module 3s. We've got speed module 6s in the main base. In saying that, I need to pick up 3.3 thousand of them. So we're a little bit behind. We actually have some speed modules for a change. So I guess that means... actually, I have no idea what that means. I guess it means we can increase the speed at which we go and convert modules up to the next level. Yes. So if we remember our little build that could... bit of blank area. Little build that wants to run faster. There we go. What else? We've been plowing through research. I actually want to look at early next week. Where are we? Labs. So to the right. I want to look at early next week, actually extending our labs up probably from here to here, and just having a little bit more room for the labs to run. They are doing a wonderful job, but if we could burn through science even faster, that would be awesome. We do have 37,000 compressed rocket science in a box, so that should be good to go. And yes, we're waiting on fast and light drive. Fast and light drives are still the thing holding us up. But with all that said, that's where I'm going to end the episode, which means I now get to play the part where I absolutely ruin names. So we have Adam Evans, which was last episode, Thomas Engeland? Like, it's so close to England, but it's not in England. So, yeah. We have Nutty Nuts, because that's how you want your nuts. Definitely in the nutty variety. We have Hellfire. We have Daniel Zeller. We have Serg Player. We have Collective Unconscious. Okay. We have BC74SJ. We have French Gaming Froylan, I'm gonna guess. David Cassidy. We have Skyfall. We have Walter Brown. High Tech. Helltech, Oracle Sam, Richard Rebasti Limia, Rusted Reaper, Purple Dawn, Colin McKinney, Inflicted Pain 213, because Inflicted Pain 1 to 212 we were all taken. Diego Evangeliatas, Marin Fringo, Charles Morgan, Evernet, there we go. Joshua Emerson, Tolate, binary. I that's the only thing I can guess with ones and zeros beside one another, and I don't get it. I'd have to look up what the character is, because I'm guessing it's a character. Cherry Ann and G.I. Gobra, because G.I. Cobra was taken. But with all that said, that was how many? 1081, 1300, that's still... what, almost 230 rockets launched for the week. Hopefully, after we get the extra drives up and running, it should be even higher next week. Well, but with all that said, that's where I'm going to call this episode. We've done, we've improved, we've tweaked, we've killed, we've maimed, we've removed nuclear. We should be in a good start for next week. There is still lots and lots of things to do. Obviously, I'm probably going to have to revisit my low density structure and my rocket control unit build probably again sometime soon, because I think, yeah, you guys are still running on speed 3s. We do have this whole build down here, which is like a super early revision. It's still running on basic beacons with basic module 3s. So this is one of those spots that have such an upgrade. I don't know what benefit we would get out of said upgrade, because it's all sort of tailored towards the speed of that belt, the machines running in that speed. In theory, we could change everything over to compressed recipes fairly easily in theory, but I'm not sure. Anyway, like I said, with all that said, I'm definitely out. There goes another rocket. Jambo. Jambo is the last rocket for episode 112½. Thank you guys, everybody, for watching. Oh, a couple of really quick housekeeping things. I did mention that I was going to start not reading names in episodes, or maybe put it up as a separate unlisted episode. That is still very much a maybe possibility. I haven't made any decisions. I have read people's comments and taken on their input, but no decisions have been made as of yet. The other thing is Factorio 1.0 is coming out very, very soon. What does that mean for this series? One, it means I'm probably going to have a lot more rockets to launch. Two, it probably means, at least probably for the first week of 1.0, this series may take a hiatus. I might just take the week off. Obviously, I've always planned to do a brand new series for 1.0, all about, the new game, all that sort of stuff. Well, a new tutorial series for new players. At the same time, I always try and fit things in for more experienced players. So no matter what, that's still the plan for the week of 1.0. So yes, there is a good chance I will be at least taking part of the week. Well, this series probably won't be on at all for that first week. And then going forth, it might only be 3 episodes a week. I don't know. I haven't made any firm decisions on that. Apart from, the week 1.0 comes out, you can probably expect I just won't have any. Well, this series will just take a 1-week hiatus. That's pretty much the only definite thing I know at this stage. Anyway, with all that said, I also need to thank Jambo113, Michael Van Woo, and Joe Smith for all clicking that subscribe button as well. Your intergalactic spaceships are all on their way. And I'm going to end before we launch yet another rocket. That's it. I'm done. Thank you guys so much for watching. Do hope you've enjoyed. See you in the next one. Bye.